Hi, so I wanted to do this video just especially for you guys who are curious about how I maintain my natural long hair in a straight way. And I know my channel is mostly about recipes and veganism, but I just been getting questions about it. So I wanted to go ahead and give this video to you guys because it's important and I know you guys have questions. A lot of people are starting their natural straight journey for the new year. So I'm going to get into it. I have 10 steps for you guys and a bonus step at the end of things that you can do to get your hair to grow long, healthy, straight, and keep it in its natural straight without any relaxers or anything like that. I know in the natural hair community, there's a lot of change going on. People are kind of deciding to relax their hair. And I wanted to just say that it's not really necessary. You can go the straight route. You can have the versatility of having curly hair and straight hair without the chemicals if you follow these steps, and also follow some other people that have some tips out there for you guys. I've been growing my hair natural for about, I would say 7 years now. Yeah, about 7 years. And it's been from super short. I never did like a big chop. I did let it grow out a little bit before I cut it, but it was definitely like right above my ears or below my ears at that kind of length. So it was very short when I went natural, completely cutting out all of the relaxer. And you can see the evidence as far as my hair. All of this is my hair. It's very long at this point and healthy. And just wanted to share the tips with you guys. So, of course, like I said before, friends have been asking me about how to get their hair healthy and growing long when they decide that they want to grow it long, because, a lot of times it's just the fact that we're cutting it and that's the only reason why it's not growing long, but sometimes it's other factors that play into it. So I want to give you all the tips, all the things that I've been doing to get my hair to this state. I don't think I'm going to be doing a lot of natural hair videos at all. This is maybe one of the only ones, if not one of a few. So I just wanted to put that out there, unless you guys let me know that this is something more that you want to see from me. And make sure you stay until the end because I have the bonus tip at the end. It's a little bit of a secret. I'm keeping that to the end because it's something very simple, but something that sometimes people don't think about. All right, make sure you grab your pen and paper or pencil and paper, and let's get into these steps. So they're not in any particular order. So the first one is make sure you start off with a clean scalp. If you have dandruff, like I do, make sure you're using a dandruff shampoo or use a clarifying shampoo. The way that you get your hair nice and clean and straight and not sticky once you blow dry it out and everything is making sure it's super clean. All of the product is out of it that you've may have put in before. Also, deep conditioning. That's step number 2. Make sure you deep condition your hair every time you wash your hair. For me, that's probably like either once a week, twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week, depending on what's going on. So because those times are different, you just want to go ahead and deep condition every time. So you're not thinking, oh, did I deep condition last time? Is it time to deep condition? Most people say deep condition once a month or whatever the case may be. Just go ahead and deep condition every single time. And then, of course, rinsing it out completely so that all of the product is out of your hair. After you deep condition, you're going to rinse that out. You're going to rinse it out and then switch to a cool setting of the temperature so that your cuticle, your hair follicle, whatever you call it. I'm not like an expert as far as terminology goes. I didn't go to beauty school, but I just know what has worked for my hair. You want to make sure that you switch it to cold so that the hair shaft or whatever closes up and maintains the moisture and maintains that all the good stuff that you put in there with the deep conditioner. So after you rinse it out, you have step number 3, which is to detangle. My absolute favorite way to detangle is starting from the back in small sections. And then if I have any really like tangles at all, which I normally don't, because since my hair is in its straight state all the time, even when I wash it and it gets curly, it's still not, it doesn't like tangle up like it used to before. I like to start out from the bottom to detangle. So start out from the bottom, then work your way up to the top. That's going to make sure you're not breaking your hair off. Because if you have hair that, is getting longer and longer, and you start off at the top and then you start to pull that comb down, you're going to just be breaking your hair off. So you want to be gentle, start at the bottom, and then work your way up to detangle. And you're going to do that in small sections starting from the back. Step number 4 is to use a light heat protectant before you blow dry. There's many out there that are on the market. I'll leave a few in the description box if I can find them that I've used in the past that I like. After you put a little bit of heat protectant, and I say a little bit because you don't want to overdo it on that. You really don't need a lot. Even if you have a lot of hair, you don't need a lot. After you do that, tip number 5 is to blow dry. Now I use the Revlon blow dryer that has a brush on it. It doesn't have like a separate attachment. Like back in the day, you had like the brush attachment, the comb attachment, the skinny comb attachment. You don't need all of that. I just use the Revlon that is a blow dryer and a brush in one. So just pull out that one thing. You don't have to go looking for anything. And I always use the low setting because it goes like right on top of your hair and you're brushing it and the heat is like really close to it. So to avoid heat damage, I never use the high setting. And once your hair is all dry and you've blow dried it in those small sections, you can go ahead and use a very light oil. You can use a light oil, you can use BioSilk, you can use Shea, you can use something like that. I'll leave what I use in the description box below, as well as some other things out there that I know work well. And now we're on to step 6. So step 6 is you're going to flat iron. You're going to go ahead and flat iron in those same small sections. You may even actually go a little bit smaller actually, because you want to make sure the flat iron is getting the hair from the root all the way to the tip in very small sections, and you want to be able to use a low setting. If you use bigger sections, you're going to have to use a higher setting so that the heat can penetrate, and you don't want to do that because it is going to burn your hair. So go for a low setting. Me personally, I'm like around 375, 350, 380 sometimes, depending on what section of hair I'm at. And I go very low in very small sections. Once you're done with all of that, it's time to protect your hair. If you're going out, you can add a little bit more of that light oil, just like to the ends, or the BioSilk or the Shea. If you're going to sleep, you want to make sure you protect your hair at night. That leads us to step number 7. Okay, step number 7. Make sure you're protecting your hair at night with some kind of satin pillowcase or some kind of satin wrap on your head, or both. I like to go for both because if I happen to like go to sleep without the satin wrap on my head, I know that pillowcase is there going to protect me and everything's going to be fine when I wake up. The whole purpose of using a satin pillowcase or some type of satin wrap on your head is so that you are decreasing the amount of friction that's going on as you're sleeping. When you turn over a little bit, or if you're someone who tosses and turns, or even if you sleep soundly, you're still having friction because you're laying your head down on that pillow. So you want to make sure you're putting something nice and silky and soft on your hair. Wrap it up. You can even just like put it in a ponytail and then put it at the top, pull your hair to the top of your head and secure it with like a little pin. And then put your wrap on and then lay down on your pillowcase. Or if you don't want to put the wrap on, you can just pull your hair up to the top, making sure your ends are at the top, put a little pin in the top, and go ahead and lay down on your pillowcase. That's going to keep your hair nice and silky straight all night. It's not going to curl up and frizz up, and you won't have any breakage because your ends are going to be all the way at the top of your head with that secured pin, and you are protected by your pillowcase. Now we're on to step number 8. Tip number 8. Tip number 8 is just to have low manipulation with your hair throughout the week. Once you have washed your hair, blow dried, and done all of these steps that I've said, you really don't need to do too much. Not too much combing. I really don't comb my hair. I kind of just like pull it out of that top knot type of pin-up situation that I sleep with, and then put it down, and it looks very nice. Doesn't look like it needs to be combed or anything because it's already detangled and straight. What else do I want to say about that? You can do protective styles, and I'll get into that a little bit more at the end. So let's leave tip number 8, which is low manipulation, and let's go to tip number 9. Tip number 9 is trimming your hair. People, when they go to the salon, they love to get their hair trimmed. It's suggested, oh, let's trim your hair. You should get a trim every time you relax. That's what I used to hear. But actually, now that I'm not relaxing my hair, I do not hear that as much. So kudos to all the salon owners out there who are not telling people to trim their hair every time they go. You don't need it every time you go. I personally like to trim my hair every 5 to 6 months or so, but I really don't do it to a calendar. I just look at my hair and say, these ends are getting kind of shabby. They need to be trimmed. And I do visit a salon couple times a year, and I like to get it professionally cut. But if I happen to see that they need it and I haven't gone, like my ends need it and I haven't gone, I'll just do a little dusting is what they call it. I'll do a little dusting myself and kind of just clip it a little bit, like half an inch or maybe even less. That's the key to seeing your growth. People, your hair is growing. It's just that sometimes people are cutting the hair too much, so you're thinking that it's not growing. So you want to just cut very little, do a little dusting at the ends, and you're good to go. So that's tip number 9. Now we're on to tip number 10, and make sure you stay for the bonus tip, the mystery tip at the end. So tip number 10 is to eat a healthy diet. Make sure you're drinking water, make sure you're eating lots of fruits and vegetables, nutrients, protein, everything, the whole gamut, everything that is good for your body, that's going to give you the nutrients that you need to grow your hair nice and long. You can supplement as well. I've heard a lot of people have good results with using supplements, like those hair, nail, and skin supplements. All of that stuff has like an extra amount of what's already good for you. I know a lot of people, like when they are pregnant, they report that their hair grows very long because they're taking the prenatal vitamins. And it's just a matter of like you're getting more nutrients and vitamins and minerals into your diet. So your hair and nails and all that good stuff is benefiting from it. So you definitely want to make sure you're paying attention to that. I don't think you have to go out and get supplements. I think if your diet is healthy, then you're on the ball. But if you have any deficiencies, definitely supplement and go for it. Go for getting those supplements. I'll leave some stuff in the description box below if you're interested. And that's tip number 10. Okay, now it's time for the bonus tip. Bonus tip is when I was growing my hair out all this time, it did take time. It took like 5, 6, 7 years, to get it to this point. It's probably been this length already. Okay, so the length that you see in this video has been at this length for about a year and a half, 2 years. And then, of course, it was like a couple inches shorter and shorter. But what we would call long, like almost touching your bra strap, it's been about 3 years or so. So what I used to do, and I haven't done it recently because I'm not wearing braids anymore, is I will keep my hair in braids a lot. And that's part of the low manipulation. Keep your hair in some type of style that you're not going to have your hands in it too much. It can be straight. Straight can be a protective style. It can be blow dried, but braids did help me achieve that, where I wouldn't have to think about it, especially because I wasn't straightening it. Because, naturally when your hair is curly, you want to do things to it to make it look its freshest and everything. But honestly, at being a straight natural, I don't have to do too much to my hair except like put it up at night and then put it back down. I'm getting into like wearing headbands and stuff like to dress it up, and I play around with what side I part my hair on. But as far as it looking nice, I don't have to do too much. But protective styles, that's your bonus tip of wearing braids. Or if you want to do weaves or sew-ins, or braid your hair up and have like a lace front wig on top, or if you want to do twist and secure it in a bun and have that as your style like throughout the week, and then just like refresh it on the weekends, all those things are going to help you maintain because it's low manipulation. You're not messing with your hair, and that's going to help it grow. So I hope you enjoyed this video. People who have been asking, my friends, people who have been wondering, those of you out there who are just like searching because maybe you want to go on a straight natural journey for the new year for 2021. If you find this video, I hope it's helpful. Definitely subscribe if you're into recipes and my once in a while beauty tips. And if you like this kind of video, let me know in the comments below and I'll keep it up. But like I said earlier, hair videos are not really my thing, but I just wanted to put this out there because I know it can be helpful. And sometimes I'm searching for stuff and I'm like, I love YouTube because you can learn so much. So have a good night, guys. Happy holidays, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.